y'all. Welcome to another episode of GURL CRUSH, the podcast all about lesbian movies and other gay shit. I'm your host, Brooklyn Jones. Hope y'all are doing well. Listen, I'm going to struggle through this episode because the movie that I watched is called The Lies We Tell, but the Secrets We Keep. It was just a struggly movie, and I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but one of my regrets is watching this movie. One reason that I regret watching this movie is because I started watching it on Amazon Prime. And it had to be some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I don't like to shit on nobody's art. As a person who is learning acting myself, I know that it's not an easy thing to do, but it seemed like some of the actors in this movie worked extra hard to make it horrible. Like, how are you that bad at acting? Did you not go to one acting class? Like, you know what? Let me just show y'all an example of what I mean by some of the worst acting that I've ever seen in my life.
Look, I don't know what's going on, but it's gonna be okay. Okay? It's gonna be okay. We don't have to stay here. I'm just gonna get my stuff and we can go. Okay? It's gonna be okay. Let me just get my stuff.
I feel like whoever made this movie was like, yo, I'm making a movie and I want all my friends in it. I don't give a damn if y'all can act. I don't give a damn. Just show up and you got yourself a role. And, you know, I commend the person who made this movie. Wait, what's her name? So it was written and directed by Milan V. Parker, who is also the star of the movie. She plays Ronnie. And my opinion be damned. I commend anybody who comes up with a movie idea, writes it, directs it, produces it, and makes it a real thing and gets it up on the platform. Like, kudos to you, because it don't matter what my opinion is in the grand scheme of things. Like, she's doing the damn thing. And like, I aspire to do the same thing. But I really, really hope that when I do create my movie that I just get some people that can actually act in it, because including me. Like, I really hope that when I do my own movie that I'm doing it some kind of justice in the acting department. Like, I'm gonna make sure I'm heavy in acting classes before I attempt to make a movie, because I'm not saying that I'm the greatest actor in the world, but I mean, there's levels to this shit. And I'm like, yo, I don't think these people went to like not one acting class. I'm not saying all of them, but a couple of them, I'm like, bruh. One person I can say that did a decent job acting is the guy who played the brother of the killer. But let me get into what the movie is about. I'm going to try my best to tell y'all what this movie is about, because the movie was all over the freaking place. I was like, who the hell are these people? What the hell is going on? And then I got to tell you, Amazon Prime and the people who made this movie, y'all got to do a better job of labeling these movies so we know the order, the first, second, third, because I sat up there and watched the whole damn movie and didn't realize until the end that I had watched part 3. And I was like, now I understand why I didn't know what the hell was going on, who the hell these people were, because I'm like, they barely even saying some of the characters' names. Like, I've been watching this movie for an hour. I don't even know the main character's name. I don't know who the hell all these random people are. And it was like too many storylines going on at the same time. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Then I realized I had watched part 3. And I was like, damn, I had big regrets. Because while I was watching this movie, I was like, this is probably one of the worst movies I've ever watched. I don't know what's going on. And I never want to see this movie again. And then when I realized that I was watching part 3, I was like, shit, now I'm going to have to watch part 1. And the only reason I said I'm going to have to watch part 1 is because I announced on my social media what movie I was watching next, so that if anybody who was following me wanted to watch the movie and know what I was talking about, they'd be able to watch the movie ahead of time before my podcast episode aired. And then I was like, crap, maybe I should just, I mean, this is a new podcast. There ain't that many people listening to it anyway. They probably didn't even notice that I said I was going to watch it. I mean, I know I have like 14,000 followers on Instagram, but that doesn't mean that they all listening to my podcast, because they sure the hell ain't. But I was like, yeah, nobody will notice. And then somebody DM me and was like, yo, you said you was going to review Beauty and you never reviewed Beauty. And I was like, oh, shit, somebody is paying attention. So they might be like, yo, you said you was going to review that movie and you didn't. So I was like, I got to stick to what I said. Even if it's just one person listening, they holding me to my word. Now I got to watch part 1 of this movie. But the problem is part 1 wasn't on Amazon Prime. They only had part 3, which I watched thinking it was part 1. So I found it on Tubi, which is where it should have been in the first place, because the whole time I was watching it on Amazon Prime, I was like, this looked like a damn Tubi movie. And when it comes on, it says the sequel. And I'm like, am I watching part 2 now? So I start looking all over for part 1, but it's nowhere to be found. This is all I got. So I watching part 2. Part 2 was kind of all over the place too, but at least it made part 3 make a little bit more sense. It still wasn't that great of a movie and the acting was still terrible, but at least I kind of knew who the people were and what was going on. Kinda. And then for some reason I watched part 4 because I'm like, well, I watched 2 and 3. I may as well watch part 4. I don't know why the hell. I think it was like watching a crime scene. Like you really don't want to see what's going on, but you can't look away. And I was already like wanting to know what the hell happened to these people because the way the movies ended, I was like, what the fuck? So I'm gonna try. I struggled through those movies, and I've been dreading shooting this podcast all day because I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna explain what that movie was about or what the hell I just watched. And apparently this movie has a large following, and I ain't mad at them, but okay, let me try to tell you what this movie was about. So first of all, the 2 main characters are Ronnie, who is a stud lesbian, and Bree, who is a femme lesbian, who is like the most toxic person ever. And everybody just needs to stay away from this because everybody who is with her ends up getting she's like a serial cheater. She had a man. She cheated on him with Ronnie. He got mad and shot Ronnie. Then Ronnie's mama sent her out of town because she's like, look, you're dealing with this raggedy bitch who almost got you killed. You got to get out of town because this ain't the right place for you to be. The mama faked Ronnie's death. She just let everybody believe that Ronnie got shot and that she dead. So ain't nobody heard from her or seen from her for like 5 years, right? Then Bree got with this other stud lesbian because she thought Ronnie was dead. And then Ronnie came back to town years later and Bree happened to see her in a restaurant walking to the bathroom. So she followed her into the bathroom. Oh my God, Ronnie, I can't believe it's you. You're alive. I love you. I missed you. So then she starts cheating on her new boo with Ronnie, who finds out. And the girl calls Ronnie up like, yo, what's going on? Is you messing around with my girl? And Ronnie's like, yeah, we messing around. She don't know who she want to choose, you or me. So the girl's like, you know what? Let's trick her, invite her over. I'm going to come over. We going to make her choose. So they try to make the girl choose. The girl gets mad for some reason. At first, Ronnie and this chick is in cahoots together, but then they start fighting. The girl just sneak attacks Ronnie. They start fighting. And then the girl's like, I'm going to see you. I'm going to get you. And in the end of the part 2, there's a drive-by and Bree gets shot. So then in part 3, which I thought was part 1, Bree is like in a coma. So every time somebody gets with Bree, somebody gets shot. Everybody just needs to stay away from Bree. Because first, Ronnie gets shot. Then I think Bree shoots the dude who shoots Ronnie. And then she cheats on Ronnie with the new chick. And then the new chick gets mad, comes try to drive by Ronnie, but she shot Bree. Actually, I think she meant to shoot Bree because later on in the movie, she's like, is that bitch Bree dead yet? I'm like, damn, what is going on? Then there's a homophobic girl who's best friends with Bree. All through the movie, she homophobic. She can't stand lesbians. She can't stand dykes. She talking all of this. Then her boyfriend decides he wants to have a threesome with her and another woman. She's like, I don't want to do that gay shit. He's like, well, if you love me, you'll do it. She's like, fine, I'll do it. She ends up liking it. The dude cheats on her with the girl they had a threesome with. Then she cheats on him with the girl they had a threesome with. So this threesome girl is just getting it from everybody. Now all of a sudden she gay. So I don't know. They made the movie look like you can actually turn some people gay. Because we always be like, you can't turn somebody gay. Either they're gay or not. But honestly, I don't think anybody turned her gay. The fact that she was just so homophobic throughout the movie is a huge gay flag. I always say that, like, the loudest, most homophobic, most anti-gay. I can't stand gay people be the gayest ones. They be in the closet, but they just either can't come to terms with themselves, or they're scared to come out of the closet, so they spew all this gay hate against gay people, but it's really self-hate. So, baby, stop hating on gay people and just come out of the closet. You'll be a lot happier. So I guess that's what they were saying in this movie. Like, this is the most homophobic ones be the gayest ones. So now she decides she want to leave her boyfriend for the girl they had a threesome with. They had a big fight. The guy gets on his knees, start praying, "Don't leave me. I don't want the girl to leave me." She like, this your last chance. Don't be cheating on me no more. Then in the next movie, she ends up cheating on him again with some other stud. When I tell you, it's too much going on. Then there was a strip club that everybody liked to frequent. Inside this strip club was a trans woman, right? This trans woman, a stud comes in and whispers in her ear. This gay dude's like, "What was that all about?" And she's like, "I'm going to be a mother." Come to find out, this trans woman, she still has her pee-pee. She was creeping on the low with this stud. So she clapping this stud's cheeks and got the stud pregnant. So homeboy is pregnant by a trans woman, and the trans woman's like, "I'm going to be a mother." So I'm like, what the is happening? So the trans woman is the mother, the stud is the dad. So his dad is his mom is his dad. That child going to be confused as hell, but look, that ain't none of my business. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Then there's this trans woman who's dating a man, and she didn't tell him that she is trans. She's just like, let him think that she's a biological woman. So this guy brings this trans woman to his family's house because his brother's going away to the military. He wants to see him off. People see this woman and they're like, "Yo, that's a man." And all his friends are like, "Yo, you need to double check, because I don't think that is a woman. I think that's a man." So the guy gets mad and he confronts his girlfriend and he's like, "Yo, why people keep telling me that you're a man?" And she's quiet about it. And her friend, before this happened, her friend was like, "Yo, you dating this dude. Does he know that you're trans?" And she's like, "No, I haven't told him yet." He's like, "Well, he's going to find out, like, when y'all have sex." And he's like, "I've been having sex with him and he don't know yet." Now, I really don't know anything about that. I'm not sure how a trans person has sex with somebody and hides a whole dick. I have no idea. She said that she tapes it up or something like that. I knew that you could tape it up to hide it when you wear like dresses and stuff like that, so that you don't have a bulge. But I didn't know you could tape it up to hide it when somebody's having sex with you, because, and he's going to ask like, "Yo, why is there tape there?" I just had a lot of questions about that. One of his family members is like, "Yo, that's a man." He's like, "No, that ain't a man." He's like, "Well, you must not have had sex with him. Like, you had sex. Did you see like their vagina?" And he's like, "Yeah, I had sex with him." And he's like, "Well, did you have sex in the dark? And did you have sex from the back or from the front? If you only had sex from the back, then you need to question it." So the trans person is like, "Yeah, my booty hole is so similar to a." He don't tell the difference. I don't know, but I'm like, that's a real thing. Like, I didn't know that a person could still have their penis and fool somebody. Like, I know that some people have like the surgery and then they like turn their penis into a. I knew that could happen, and that like if a man has sex with that person, he might not know because it actually looked like a. But I didn't know that they could tape their up so good that it could be fooled into thinking it's a vagina. Like, he didn't put his hands up. I don't know. I hope I'm not sounding transphobic, because I'm really just asking questions. I need answers, because I didn't know none of this until I watched this movie. But then at the same time, the people who made this movie are stud lesbians. So I'm not sure if they just made this shit up or if they did research, because they might not know what the hell they talking about either. I don't know. But anyway, he's like, "Yo, are you a man or not?" And she didn't want to answer him. And I guess he took that as a yes, and he choked her to death. And I just thought that was awful, because that is not the way you handle stuff like that. And the girl's friend was like, "Yo, you playing a dangerous game, because, if you messing with a dude and he finds out that you got a piece, you could potentially get hurt really bad." And that brings me to this question. When is the appropriate time for a trans person to disclose that they're a trans person? Because I know that a lot of them are like, I don't owe nobody an explanation. But at the same time, I feel like you do, because a person has a right to know. Because they're like, well, it doesn't matter. But it does matter for more than one reason. Because a lot of people are like, well, if you don't want to date a trans woman or a trans man, that means you're transphobic. And I don't agree with that, because I feel like it's a preference. It's a preference. Like, if you only date women, if you only date women and you don't want to date a man, that's a preference. That doesn't mean you're man phobic. If you only date men and you don't want to date women, that's a preference. It doesn't mean you're woman phobic. So I don't understand why, if somebody doesn't want to date somebody trans, they call them transphobic. I don't understand that. I feel like a person has a right to know that the person that they're with is trans. And I just don't know, like, when's the right time to tell. Because I feel like maybe you tell them before your first date. I feel like that's the safest way, because, all right, y'all are in the talking stage. You realize y'all like each other. You know what? I like your personality. I like your conversation. I think you're cute. Let's go on a date. I think before you go on that date, that's when you should disclose it, because you in a safe space. You're not in proximity to each other for them to do anything to you. You call them on the phone and tell them so that you can hear their reaction or whatever. I think that's the best time to tell them. I don't think that you should tell them on the first date, because they might flip out if they're like crazy or have a temper, or like super transphobic or homophobic. It might be dangerous to tell them in person. So I feel like you should tell them over the phone. And then a lot of people are like, well, I won't tell until we're about to be intimate. But my thing is, like, if you're about to be intimate, y'all probably been talking for a minute or long enough to let them know. I personally would want to know. Like, if I'm on a date with a woman and she's trans, I would want to know, because that's a preference. I'm not saying that, that I don't want to talk to them no more, but I just want to know. I would want to know ahead of time. And I'm not a person that's going to go off on nobody or beat nobody up. Like, that's stupid. But, you know, some people, a lot of men have like fragile egos. So they'd be freaked out to know that they were like on a date with a trans person or someone who is a man or used to be a man, and they're scared that their friends are gonna make fun of them, or they're scared that people are gonna think they gay. They feel like they might be gay. Like, if they did something with you, all of a sudden, oh, you made me gay, which is not true, but that's the way they think. So I think like the safest bet is to tell them ahead of time. Also, like, if you're trying to get in a serious relationship with somebody, a lot of people want kids, you know? So if you used to be a man, you probably don't have a womb. So if the man who is with you wants kids, they should probably know ahead of time that you can't have kids. And then a lot of people are like, well, there's a lot of women who can't have kids either. Does she have to disclose? I think that if you're getting into a serious relationship, especially if you're thinking about like being together in a committed relationship, a marriage or anything like that, and a woman know that she can't have kids and know the man wants kids, that's something that should be disclosed. The issue with that is a lot of women don't find out that they can't have kids until they start trying to have them. And by then they're already like deep in a relationship, already invested. But if you know early in the relationship that you can't have kids, I think that that's something that a person that you're with has a right to know. So I know a lot of people are on the fence about this, and they're like, no, a trans person doesn't have to tell you. They don't owe you any explanation. But I personally think that if they're dating you and they're going to get intimate with you, they should definitely tell a person. But at the same time, nobody has a right to hurt somebody, put their hands on them, kill somebody because of something like that or anything. There's not many reasons that somebody has a right to kill somebody. I ain't gonna say it ain't none, but that ain't no reason. Like, if somebody hurt your child or your parents or something like that, then maybe, yeah, you could go after them. But just because you found out that the person you're dating is trans, or you find out somebody is gay, that's no reason to hurt anybody. And these movies, they touch on gay bashing a lot, because there was another scene where two guys were kissing. They were like at the end of their date or whatever, and some homeboys on the stoop saw them kissing, and they decided to beat them up, and they one of them. And I just don't understand why somebody cares what other people are doing. Like, if you see two dudes kissing, so what? They ain't kissing you. Why do you care? It just bothers me that people don't know how to let other people live their lives. Like, if somebody doing something I don't like, if it ain't affecting me, well, why would I give a shit? I don't care. This movie just had a lot going on. So the gay guy who got his sister like went crazy and went off the deep end, and she tried to take it upon herself to go after the dudes who took her brother off of this earth. But when she got there, she chickened out and ran. But the people who she went after already saw her, so they chased her down, caught her, tied her up, taped her mouth up, slapped her around, and started interrogating her like, yo, who sent you? Answer my question, bitch. But the problem with this is they kept asking her questions and then slapping her for not answering them. But her mouth was duct taped shut. I'm like, yo, who directed this? Like, how is she going to answer questions if her mouth is duct taped shut? Oh, so they're like, answer my question. Oh, you don't want to answer my question? Pow. I'm like, take the duct tape off her lip, dummy. And then finally somebody put their thinking cap on and took the duct tape off her lips. And the cops knocked on the door and they're like, yo, hide her in the closet. So they hide her in the closet. The cops get to the door and they're like, we had a 911 call that people heard screaming coming from this floor. And they're like, well, it ain't in our apartment. And the cops are like, well, we gonna come in and check. And they're like, you can't come in here without a warrant. And the cops are like, yes, you can, because we got probable cause because people heard some screaming. So the two guys start arguing and bad mouth and smart mouthing the cops. And the cops are like, oh, we about to handcuff you and take you in. So they handcuff the guys, take them in, but they never checked the house because they came in to check the house to see if a lady was in there screaming. They got so caught up arguing with the two dudes and everybody trying to outman each other that they handcuffed the two dudes, took them to jail, and just left the lady tied up in the closet. I'm like, what the hell kind of movie is this? Like, nobody came back to check and see if there was a woman screaming. So they sent some other dude in there. Some guy was approaching the house and he sees that the two dudes are locked up in the back of the squad car, and the dude is like making eyes at him like, yo, go upstairs and deal with the lady before the cops find out. But the lady somehow got herself free and ran out the back door, and he saw her running and went after her, but he didn't catch her. So all this time he was looking for her. And the scene that I showed you where the girl can't act and she's telling the girl that she gonna help her get out of here.
Hey, I'm gonna get you out of here, okay? Look, I want to help you. I know my brother's not a bad person, but he just be involved in some bullshit.
That is when the dude finds her. So she met that girl in the park, started flirting with her, not knowing that the guy who's trying to kill her is that girl's brother. Just ridiculous coincidences that don't make no sense. And I don't even know why this story doesn't tie into anything else. It's just like its own standalone story. I don't know. The movie just had a whole lot of ghetto drama, and it was just like stud drug dealers. It was like drug rings, and I'm so all over the place, but the movie was all over the place. And then I watched 3 of them out of order, so it was just too much. So the guy who choked out the trans person, choked her to death, he freaked out because he's like, oh shit, I killed somebody. So he calls his brother and he's like, yo, I need you to meet me downtown and come by yourself. As soon as somebody tell me to come by myself, I ain't coming. Because what does that mean? That is a major red flag. Come meet me over here and come by yourself. Why I got to come by myself? But I guess because that was his brother, he trusted him. But he already knew his brother was crazy, because when he showed up, his brother was like, remember that time I snapped that dog neck? And he like, bro, you should have grown out of that by now. You still kill animals. And I'm like, grown out of it? I don't think you grow out of crazy. Like, you got to go to therapy and work through that. I don't think you just grow out of that. And he's like, nah, this time I killed the person. And he's like, you killed the person? Like, what? He's like, yeah, my girlfriend, I found out she was a man, so I killed her. Like, bro. And he's like, I'm scared, man. I don't want to go to jail. And his brother's like, nah, bro, you ain't going to go to jail. I got your back. Just come home and come stay with us. And us is him and his girlfriend. So I'm like, bro, you know your brother is a freaking murderer and you gonna have him staying in the house with you and your girlfriend? What? See, that's why I don't never want to live with anybody. Listen, I don't care how much we love each other, how together we are. Go home. I love you. We had fun. Now go home. And if I'm at your house, I want to go home. That way, if you got a crazy ass brother or family member and you invite them to come stay, they coming to stay at your house. Not my house, not our house. It's just too many things that can go wrong with living together. And I know I sound crazy because a lot of people are like, oh, we love each other, so we're going to live together. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, you all lesbian. As soon as you meet somebody, y'all want to live together. Not me. I ain't no U-Haul lesbian. I ain't no suitcase, nothing. Go home. I'm going to go home lesbian, okay? We can have us a good old time, but you going home. So he got this killer up in the house with his girlfriend. And she has no idea. And she ain't paying attention to what the hell's going on because this is the girl who used to be homophobic, but now she gay and she done met some girl at the club and she cheating on her. And the club scene was crazy because she's at the club with her other homophobic friend. I don't even know why they at a strip club watching girls strip if they don't like girls. Turn their nose up at the girl and stuff. Like, why would you go to a strip club with women stripping if you don't like women? Just to shade them and be turning your nose up. And then like people are hitting on them. So you know, some stud lesbian comes over and she trying to holler like, yo, I'm gonna buy y'all a drink. And she like, I don't want no drink from you. And then the other girl's like, nah, let them buy us drinks. It's a free drink. So the girl buys them drinks and one of the girls start farting. I'm dead serious. She like starts farting and she's like, it must have been something I ate. And she runs off. And the girl's like, yo, your friend always smell like that? That's really one of the lines in the movie. I was like, what the fuck? Why is a fart scene part of the movie? Like, it had nothing to do with anything. But I guess that's how she got to the bathroom. But my thing is, like, she could have just been like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and freshen up. I got to pee. I want to go powder my nose, something. Why did she have to get the bubble guts and fart to go to the bathroom? Because she got into some altercation with some girls in the bathroom. And while she's in the bathroom, some girl is hitting on this girl. And the way she's hitting on her is so corny because she introduced herself and she went to shake her hand. And the stud girl's like, I don't shake women's hands. I only hug women. Like, I thought that where my hug at corny bullshit was just men. Like, this where my hug at lesbians. And that works because that's like the corniest shit ever. Where my hug at. Like, the doofy cornball in high school was the where my hug at, chap lips, how would the pants do? You know what I'm saying? And the girl was like, nah, I'm good. And she's like, well, in that case, I'm leaving. So she gets up to walk away. And the girl's like, no, wait, you can have a hug. And I'm like, give me a break. Ain't no way in the world that works. Yo, ladies out there, if somebody approached you in the club, took my own shake women's hands, I only hug them. Is that a line that's going to work on you? Does it work for women but not corny dudes? Or is it just going to work because you find them cute in the first place? Because I feel like even if I find somebody cute and they hit me with a line like that, instantly the cuteness is going down. I'm like, you cute, but you corny. And I ain't want to talk to you no more because where my hug at? Get out of here. I don't even know you. Why are you over here with that corny mess? But anyway, they exchange numbers and she starts cheating on her boyfriend with this stud. This is the girl who had the threesome, so she gay now. Now, you see how this is all over the place? Now, the main characters of this movie is Ronnie and Bree. I haven't mentioned Ronnie and Bree one time because the movies go on so long, sometimes you don't even see them. Especially with part 3, which is the one I watched first. Anyway, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happened. Like, at the end of part 3, they were trying to move out of town. Listen to this. Okay, Bree has a child named Little Ronnie. So remember when Bree cheated on her man? The man was her baby's father, and she named her child Little Ronnie. Imagine cheating on your man with somebody and naming y'all's baby after the person you cheated with. That's how toxic the character Bree is. Like, she's absolute trash. And the dude shows up and like, where my baby at? I don't even know like where he been after all of this time, but he shows up. He's like, where my baby at? And she's like, leave my baby alone. Come here, Little Ronnie. And he like, Little Ronnie, you named my baby after that? Like, that is crazy that you had a baby with a man and you cheated on him with somebody and you named that baby after the person that you cheated with. Man or woman, that's crazy. Like, if you know the person that you're with is that kind of person, why would you even want to be with them? Because you already know they're going to do the same thing to you. If they would do that to somebody, they would do the same thing to you. That is a garbage person. So after Bree got shot and was in a coma, after she got out the coma, all of a sudden, the editing was all over the place for this damn movie because Bree was in the coma. Ronnie was taking care of the baby. And then all of a sudden, she came to visit Bree. Bree woke up out of the coma. Cut to, they doing it. And I'm like, wait, are they doing it in the hospital? Where's the baby at? The way it looked was like they was doing it in the hospital. But they were at the hospital with the baby. But then, like, once they zoomed out, then you kind of see that they're at home. And then Bree was like, after I got and I was in a coma, I don't feel safe here anymore. Can we leave town? Can we go somewhere else? And Ronnie's like, yeah, we could go, but give me a few weeks to make some money. Like, bro, she been in the coma all this time. You could have been making money while she was in the coma so she can get the hell out of here. You talking about give me time to make money. Now you got this girl out there in danger with this crazy stud after y'all. And you talking about give me time to make money. So at the end of the movie, they all pack up in the car to drive away. And their car stalls on the train track. And while they're trying to get out the car is struck by the train. And then there's a news report saying that 2 women and a child were struck by a train. And then in the next movie, it opens to them alive and well. So my thing is that didn't make no damn sense. Like, I know the person who made this movie was trying to do like an eraser thing where like they fake their own death or whatever. And that works with the people in the neighborhood thinking you dead. But when it gets to a news report, that's when it gets sketchy. Because if it becomes a news report, that means either the newscasters were in on it, the authorities were in on it, or you found the bodies of 2 women and a child to put in your car to take place of you. Like, what bodies was the news reporting if y'all not really dead? That was a major plot hole in the story for y'all to be dead at the end of one movie and then alive and well in the next movie. And then y'all fake y'all's death and move to another city only to come back to Chicago and be in the middle of the same kind of drama y'all in the first place because Ronnie lost her job. So she goes back on the street and starts selling drugs. And this is where it hits the fan because Bree finds out Ronnie is selling drugs again. And she gets mad and dumps Ronnie's drugs in the toilet. And Ronnie's like, yo, why would you throw those drugs away? We got to pay for them drugs. I'm selling these for some like drug kingpin. They're going to come after us. So, of course, the drug kingpin's like, where you at? Where's my drugs? Where's my money? And now they on the run, hiding from these people, trying to get up the money. And the people who they owe money to kidnap Bree's child. And they like, so now it's ransom. They're like, we got your child. Bring me $10,000 by tonight, or else you ain't never gonna see your child again. Bree goes to her office where her boss keeps money in a safe. So they get the money by robbing Bree's boss. She's a nurse and works at a doctor's office for some sketchy ass doctor who tries to pimp out his nurses for money. That's another storyline. Like, it's so many storylines. That's why I can't keep up. So anyway, they go rob this creepy ass doctor for his money. They go over there trying to get the little daughter back. But these fools who kidnapped the daughter, instead of taping the little girl's mouth shut, they put a bag over her head. So when Bree goes back there to get her daughter after they give them the ransom money, she finds that her daughter is unconscious. She done suffocated from the damn bag on her head. So she's freaking out like, oh my God, y'all killed my baby. And then the other drug dealers is like, yo, we ain't sign up for all of this. Like, we were signing up for a kidnapping. We wasn't signing up for like murking no kids. And then the drug kingpin is like, oh, now you got a heart. So she just start popping her own people. While they're crying over the little girl, Ronnie's like, you got your money. You got what you want. You done hurt this child. Just let us get out of here. Let us go. And the drug kingpin is like, oh, you think you run stuff in here. And she Bree dead. So now Bree and the child is dead. So then this guy comes in who's like a cop who was flirting with Bree up at her doctor's office. Come to find out, he was like trying to investigate the doctor because he heard that the doctor was like running some kind of prostitution ring. He comes in, sees everybody all shut up, and then tells Ronnie, Bree really loved you. Look at this you got her into. Mind you, she didn't get Bree into that. Bree got herself into that when she threw them drug dealers money down the toilet. But I guess Ronnie got her into it when she started selling drugs in the first place. So all these people are trash and they need to get their shit together. But now everybody dead except Ronnie. He tells Ronnie to run, calls it in, and that's how it is. So I'm like, y'all went through all of that for nothing. Because at the end of the day, her whole family was murked and she out there by herself. Her mama told her to stay away from that girl. The name of the movie should have been Listen to Your Mother. That's what it should have been called. But anyway, at the end, she's like, yeah, all the lies you tell will catch up to you. I'm like, this movie was stupid as hell. One question I really had about this movie was the budget. Because it seemed like such a low budget movie. But the people in this movie were doing things that were not low budget. Like there were sex scenes, there were RAPE scenes, there was like booties out. Like a lot of the stuff that was happening in this movie, I feel like, did the actors get paid well to do this, or did they want to be in a movie so bad that they were willing to do all of that? Like there were strip scenes, people were twerking with their ass out. It was a lot of like pretty intimate scenes, raunchy scenes, disturbing scenes, and I couldn't believe that a lot of the actors were willing to do all of this for such a low budget film. So I'm like, did they get paid extra for that? Or were they like that desperate to be in a movie that they were like, I'd do anything to be in this movie? I just that's a question that I always have, like when I see movies. Because like there's a lot of like big budget movies and big budget actors that be like, nah, I don't want to show no skin. I don't want to do no sex scenes, nothing like that. But these movies, these little Tubi movies, they be going all out. People be doing like kissing, having whole sex scenes, showing skin, doing all kinds of stuff. And these movies are like independent, super low budget looking. So I always wonder that, are some people just comfortable doing stuff like that and they don't care about the pay? Or like, do they just feel like that's what they need to do to get put on or and to be in a movie? Anyway, I know I probably didn't do a good job describing what the hell was going on in that movie, but that's because it was too much going on and it was hard to explain what was going on. There was just a lot. It was doing too much and not enough at the same time. So one of my friends told me that besides movie reviews, I should do other things, like maybe read Reddit stories. Like, am I the asshole Reddit stories? I'm not sure if that's something that people want to hear. I know there's like millions of Reddit YouTube pages. I don't know if I want to be another one of those. She was saying I could read like lesbian, am I the asshole, or lesbian advice. And I don't even think I'm the right person to be giving any kind of relationship advice because I'm a professional single person. Like, if you want to be single, come to me because I'll get you single real quick. You ask me some advice. If you want to stay together, don't ask me because I be mad. People be coming to me with their relationship problems. I'm like, nah, they doing too much. You need to leave them. Like, if you want to be single, ask me some relationship advice. But if you want to stay with your person, you better ask somebody who's in a relationship for the long haul. Don't be asking no professional single people for no relationship advice because you'll end up single. So listen, I'm open to advice. I'm open to input because I'm still figuring out what types of things I'm going to do, I want to do on there. So if there's stuff that you would like me to do, talk about, I'm open to ideas, advice, suggestions. And I'm going to take my friend's suggestion and let's see what happens. So I'm going to read an Am I the Asshole post from Reddit. I'm going to do all like gay ones. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my friend to stop saying they are a lesbian? So for context, my best friend I will call R, that I've known for quite a while, and a friend that I have known but not very close, I will call N. They have just started dating. M, who is AMAB, I don't know what that means, but has identified as non-binary for a few years now and has opened up beforehand and said, although they're not interested in ever dating men due to a trauma, they are attracted to both men and women. Later, when N started dating R, who is bisexual and a cis woman, N has casually referred to both of them as lesbians and saying that they're a lesbian couple. Later, I asked, and if they still identified as non-binary, and if are, figured out if they're a lesbian. First of all, y'all gotta stop saying people's names as letters because it gets confusing. Just give them a fake name. N and R, that's stupid. Give them a fake name. So I'm gonna call them Nancy and Rebecca. Now, let's try this again. Later, when Nancy started dating Rebecca, who is bisexual, you see how that flows? Later, when Nancy started dating Rebecca, who is bisexual and just a cis woman, Nancy had casually referred to both of them as lesbians, stating that they are the lesbian couple of the group. And I was really put off by that. Later, I asked Nancy if they still identify as non-binary and if Rebecca had figured out they are a lesbian. Nancy then told me that they identify as a lesbian, stating it's a misconception that lesbians are only women who love women and that any non-man who likes mostly women is a lesbian. I told Nancy that's really not what a lesbian is, and they shouldn't be using that term to refer to themselves as lesbians because they aren't. A lesbian is a woman who actually likes women. I said that because you don't fit either of those criteria and that they are appropriating the word. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are, because who the fuck cares? Like, what are you talking about? Why do you care what somebody calls themselves? That's what's wrong with the world. Like, y'all care too much what other people do. Y'all care too much what other people say. Y'all care too much what other people call themselves. Like, why do you give a shit? Did your paycheck get higher after you told that girl that? Or that person? I don't know if they said they're non-binary. So if you told that person that they're not a lesbian, did you get a raise at work? Or if you're in school, did you get an A on your paper just because you told that person that they are not a lesbian? Why do you care if they call themselves a lesbian or not? Why do you care if they call themselves a lesbian couple? Like, is it making you lose sleep at night? What is wrong with people? Y'all be too in people's business. You busy body ass Karen. Don't call yourself that. Why do you give a shit? That is so stupid. Somebody commented, I think you both should identify as half-wits for allowing yourself to get caught up in this stupid drama. Who cares? Love who you want and stop labeling. It doesn't matter. I agree with that. Stop labeling everything. I hate labels so much. Don't put no labels on me. I hate that. Like, I'm just a person being me. Why do people have to put labels on everything? And if you don't label yourself what they see you as or what they think you should be calling yourself, they get mad. Why do you care? That is weird. You ain't no lesbian. So what? She could be a lesbian. Well, they could be a lesbian if they want to. Y'all focus on the wrong things. If they call themselves a lesbian, is your lights gonna get cut off? Why do you care? All right, let me try another one. Am I the asshole for outing my wife as a late blooming lesbian? I am recently divorced after 22 years when my wife unexpectedly served me with divorce papers last year. I always felt I was a good husband and an excellent dad. I took pride in this. I get that intimacy in the best of situations can lessen, but excluding a few mutually drunk nights, my ex was completely disinterested for a decade. She made comments like, if only I had a sister wife that can handle your needs at once. Or the bedroom is always too cluttered to feel romantic, surrounded by a mess. Boy, clean up your house. I made multiple efforts to clean the house and even hired a cleaner to no effect. Oh, that was an excuse. Finally, after a heart-to-heart, she informed me that she was not attracted to me and was interested in women. She told me the term late blooming lesbian, and I looked it up. It's far more common than I know. The problem is she failed to share any of this with her family or our kids. I finally was fed up and told her very religious mom and brother and showed them a photo of pages out of her diary to prove this. So am I the asshole for directing a key factor that they did not have any idea of? Wow. Yeah, late blooming lesbian is a real thing. I think maybe that's what I am. I guess, I don't know, later in life, you figure things out. People change, things change. You know what? I honestly think that it could be like a chemical thing in your body too. Like, I mean, I've always been kind of attracted to women. Never girls though. Like when I was a teenager in high school or whatever, I was attracted to boys my age, and I was attracted to older women. Isn't that crazy? I remember this lady that used to work at my school. I had the biggest crush on her. I didn't really realize what it was at the time, but thinking back, I had a major crush on this lady. But that's crazy to me that I've always been attracted to women, never girls. So maybe that's why I didn't be realize I was gay as hell till I was an adult because I like women. I didn't like girls my own age. Anyway, I think it could be a chemical thing too, because like the older you get, the more estrogen you lose, and I think you get more testosterone or whatever. So maybe when you get older and you start getting testosterone and less estrogen, maybe that's why some women become attracted to women as they get older. But I don't know, because I think men lose testosterone. Do men low key start getting attracted to men when they get older? I low key think a lot of men are attracted to men anyway, because they just be loving their boys too much. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, to answer your question, sir, yes, you are. So you can't just be outing people. She probably was so stressed out, like just the fact that she was able to open up to you and tell you the truth was a big step for somebody coming out later in life. And she was probably like really agonizing over it and trying to figure out how to tell her parents and how to break it to her family, especially considering you said that her family was religious. Why would you out her to her family? I feel like you just did that out of spite and out of anger and just to be mean. And to try, like, since you lost your family, in a sense, you wanted to make her lose her family, in a sense. And I think that was just really, really mean and uncalled for. And I think it's always uncalled for to out somebody, because people are always like trying to rush people out of the closet when they're not ready to come out. And I think everybody comes out at their own pace. I think the only people who need to be rushed out of the closet are homophobes who are always bashing gay people when they know their ass is gay. They need to come out of the closet. But if a person is like coming to terms with their sexuality and figuring things out and they open up to you, you don't out them to other people. That's a horrible thing to do. Anyway, this probably wasn't my best episode of this podcast because I watched one of the worst freaking movies ever. But as promised, because I remember like my first podcast, I said that I was going to review Beauty, which was directed by Lena Waithe. And then I totally forgot I told y'all that. So on my next episode, I will review Beauty and tell y'all what I thought of that movie. And I want to give a shout out to Rekanize. Rekanize is a dope ass shoe brand. I have several pairs of their shoes. And I told y'all that I wanted to highlight on this podcast Black-owned brands and queer-owned brands. So shout out to Rekanize. We are doing the blackety black thing. This is a pair of their shoes, which are so freaking dope. I have 3 pairs of Rekanize shoes. I wholeheartedly support them, but I want to show y'all this pair of shoes before we get out of here because I just think that they're so dope. So shout out to Rekanize brand. Recognize your truth. I didn't even show y'all, but they real classy, okay? Wait, let me present it right because I'm all over the place like that movie. But look, they come in a nice box, right? The box flips open like a clamshell. Then they come in a really nice dust bag. These shoes are made in Italy, as you can see. But look at the shoes. These are so freaking fly. Look at the detail. The bottom, they're silver. And when I tell you the silver does not rub off, because I have another pair of the Rekanize brand shoes. The style is called Brooklyn Bam. And they say Brooklyn on the back because my name is Brooklyn. But the bottom of those shoes are also silver. And I wore the mess out of those shoes. I don't walk from here to Timbuktu in them shoes. And the silver never scratches off. The silver is through and through. It's not just painted on. The soles are literally silver. So if you scrape up the bottom, they're still going to be silver. So anyway, shout out to Rekanize brand. These are a Black-owned brand that are made in Italy. These are leather sneakers, and they're freaking amazing. So yeah, shout out to Rekanize. Anyway, that was the most all over the place episode of Girl Crush ever. And I promise that I'll try to pick better movies next time. I really be trying to not just watch like the big budget blockbuster films. I try to watch indie films and I want to watch short films and I want to highlight like Black actors and Black directors and Black producers. So I'm really trying over here, but it's hit or miss. And this movie was miss. I'm sorry. Cause like I said, I don't like to shit on nobody's art, but I mean, I had to be honest. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't watch another movie from this director because I did see progress. Like the final installment, which was number 4, was better than the other 2 that I watched. So I do see improvement in her storytelling, in her writing, and in her directing and producing. Like the movie itself looked higher budget. it didn't look as low budget as the other two. So I do see progress. So that's to say that maybe her future movies will be a lot better. It'll have better writing, better directing. So I'm willing to give her another chance. I mean, I watched all 3 of the movies, even though I ain't like none of them. So, you know, I'm down to give people a chance, but whew, that one was a struggle. But thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for listening. Again, if there's anything that you guys will want me to do, want me to talk about, want me to touch on, please leave me a comment or email me at girlcrushpod@gmail.com. But thank you so much for listening. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at It's Brooklyn Jones. Please like, comment, subscribe, show me some love. I'm really still learning about podcasting and trying to figure out what is best for this podcast and what will make for the most entertaining show that people are going to tune into, people are going to like. So look, I'm open to your feedback. Thank you so much for listening. Love y'all. Bye.
I've been moving while all of y'all are stationary. You're ordinary like missionary, bunch of visionaries. Look me up in the dictionary under precision. I stand for perfection. There's no need for revision. I keep my show ongoing.